Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hope you're having a good whatever time it is by you.
Yeah. Welcome to the Unfazed podcast.
I'm Emmett.
And I'm Ben Steerick.
So it's been a while since we've done one of these before.
Yeah, last one we did was probably, what, 6-8 months ago? Longer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Might have even been a year.
What about a year?
I'm not sure.
It's kind of frightening.
I have a bad habit to do that. We start with something, then we stop.
Yeah.
I think that's human nature, though, you know? It's like, be lazy. It's so easy to be lazy, though. I feel like, you get into a rut, and comfort's so much easier.
Yeah.
It's easier to just crash out on the couch and get drunk. You know?
Yeah.
So I figured, we could crash on this couch and get drunk and record a podcast.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. These are super fun, and I think if we make this routine, it'll be very beneficial.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna jump back in with like the same stuff we usually talk about.
Yeah.
Movies.
Seinfeld.
We're gonna get angry. Seinfeld. We're gonna get disgruntled with the world,
as we tend to do. Yeah.
All right. So obviously the biggest thing right now is Infinity War. So we're gonna. We've both seen the movie, so there's gonna be spoilers. So just let you know.
Yeah. If you don't like this, I'd say fast forward 5 or 8 minutes. So where to begin? You go ahead. Kick us off. Avengers.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Avengers Infinity War. So I like the intro. I like that the intro puts you like right in the middle of the action. It's sort of reminiscent of like a Star Wars movie where you're like in the middle of a battle or something and the movie just begins.
Yeah.
Most of those Marvel movies, I feel like the beginning is like everything's fine. They all have this like this aura of there's never gonna be a bad guy again, and then like oh no, here he comes, and then like
and he's always bigger and more purple
than
the last one.
And they're always super surprised. And this one had that a little bit. Like he had the Iron Man was talking to the chick, whatever her name is, and they were talking about how they're talking about very picturesque day-to-day stuff, and they were very pleasant.
Like Gwyneth Paltrow and Tony Stark in the park.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Let's go jogging.
Yeah. And it was cool to see a lot of the heroes that have not interacted before, run into each other. Mm-hmm. But it was weird because they didn't have a lot of time to really get acquainted. It was just once they were in the moment, like shit was already going down. So they were just like, hey, you're a guy, we're on the same side, let's fight.
Yeah.
And actually, I kind of like that to a degree. I was afraid there was going to be a lot of banter between the new groups.
My thing with it was like, and I mentioned this before, but I feel like the first hour and a half was a good movie. Yeah. It was like a decent superhero movie, and I really enjoyed seeing character interactions between Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Spidey, and that was cool.
Yeah.
Like I really liked that a lot. But right at around the hour and 20-minute mark, hour and 30-minute mark, it just lost me. I was like, they lost it. Like it's like they had good momentum, and then they just, in typical Marvel Disney-owned fashion, they just fucked it up, And I feel like it just got boring. I feel like the runtime was really inflated. I feel like all these movies have like the same cut and paste like ending. Like it's like, well, not the exact ending of this one, but the same battles at the end. Like it all kind of feels the same. It feels like there's really nothing to lose. Way too much CGI.
Totally.
I mean, and what was the deal with Mark Ruffalo not being able to turn into the Hulk? And then he's like in that stupid Iron Man suit.
That was
it looked like his
silly.
head was like like pasted on there. It looked so terrible. And it's just the same. It's just these big alien spaceships and these shitty CGI fight sequences and
it's very visually messy. Yeah,
it's just the same old shit.
That whole the defensive Wakanda battle looked like a shitty Battle of Naboo from Episode 1 in Star Wars.
Awful.
Yeah,
or something really shitty from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I'm like, man, this is cheap entertainment. You look at it and like, are you telling me really the people who are like defending this movie and loving it, which I know a lot of people do, cool, I'm glad you're easily entertained, but I feel like, are you really going to look back on that movie in 10 years and be like, man, what a masterpiece. I'm going to rewatch Infinity War?
Right.
Fuck no. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's no Casablanca.
Yeah, right.
It's no Bicycle Thief, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because all of the movies have been so safe up until now. No one good has ever died, right? Mm-hmm. And so in this one, when people did die, because a lot of people did die, you almost didn't, it didn't even seem real. You almost didn't even care.
Yeah.
At least I didn't care. Like when Loki dies in like the first 5 minutes or whatever. And I was
Well,
like,
you know he's going to be back.
Right? Yeah.
That's the thing, and
right.
it goes back to there being nothing at stake. I think that's the thing with these movies, is it's like, everyone goes, oh my god, they all died. No, they didn't, you fucking idiot. It's like, they're going to come back, they're going to make a sequel, they're going to make twice as much money off of it, and they're going to keep milking it as long as they possibly can.
I wish they did. Yeah, that would make it way better. Did you see Civil War?
That's one I did not see.
That's one. Okay, I loved the battle at the end because it was between just Captain America and Iron Man, and this was like the first time in all the Marvel movies where they're like genuinely just beating the shit out of each other. Like usually it's like very choreographed. It's more like a dance than a fight when they fight.
Yeah.
In these movies, but that one they're literally just wailing and wailing, and it was intense. And finally at the end, Captain America takes his shield and he pierces that bulbous thing on Iron Man. Is like his basically the thing that's keeping him alive. His penis. So he bursts his heart, and I thought he was gonna die. Like shit, that's the end of Iron Man. Which would have been cool.
Wouldn't that have been amazing if they did that? That's like a very DC move.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hoping that was good, but he was fine. He was fucking fine.
Yeah, always. And that's the thing, man. I know I get angry about it, but it's like it's so predictable. That's the thing that bothers me. It's so predictable. Yeah. And it's like they're all coming back. Mm-hmm. Nobody's actually gonna disappear. Right, it's like I don't know. It's just too safe.
I did like that. Many of the scenes were from the perspective of Thanos, as if we were watching it as if he were the protagonist, really. And I thought that was cool.
I didn't know until afterwards that was Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah,
doing the voice. I was like, that's cool.
Funny, yeah.
Good for Brolin. Yeah, I like Josh Brolin a lot, but I thought Thanos was boring. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Too many monologues. He was too incongruent. I don't know. Yeah. He was like, I'm really helping the universe.
Right.
And then he'd go off and talk about it for 20 minutes. I'm like, all right.
And that's sort of a played villain scheme. Like they all have some pseudo,
Yeah, I'm actually a good guy. If you really take a step back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was directed by Anthony Russo and Joe Russo, and let's check out the writers. Written by Christopher Marcus,
Stanley,
based on the Marvel comics. Yeah. Stephen McFeely.
Oh, my favorite.
And also based on characters by Jack Kirby.
Of course.
Yeah, man. I don't know. All those movies are kind of the same. There's really not much more I can harp on. It's kind of like they're all kind of disposable to me.
Yeah.
The first hour and a half was good though. Like if it was on TV or something, and I watched that part again, I'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But it was just that third act. I was just like,
there was one specific thing that really bugged me though. This has always bugged me in general about Doctor Strange, because he's like this master manipulator, magician, whatever. But his combat is like he'll summon a sword, and then he's just like another guy, just hitting people with a sword. And it's like shouldn't he be doing lots of cool mind tricks and shit? And there was a scene towards the beginning when they were in Central Park or whatever, where one of the magician guys accidentally closes the portal on that monster and his hand comes right off.
Yeah.
And they're like, ew, gross. Why? First of all, why don't they use that move all the time on everyone?
Yeah.
Just kill them.
Why not just create a giant portal?
Yeah. And why not use that portal to sever the gauntlet off of Thanos?
Oh, there you go.
Like there's a long scene where they develop this big plan, this huge strategy to try and get the gauntlet off of Thanos, and it backfires. That would have taken 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So the little stuff like that kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
And I know it's sort of specific combat issues, but in a movie that's all about superheroes, I think realistic combat is important, because it can kind of get when there's intense battle scenes like that, if you're just kind of sitting there and enjoying it, I feel like it's not doing the trick. If there's
you need some tension.
There's a lot of people beating each other up in front of you. You should be like, oh God, what's going to happen?
It's always a little too clean, a little too sparkly.
It's like comfortable, which is kind of gross. Like you shouldn't feel comfortable when people are killing each other.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to the new Spawn movie.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Or like The Punisher is entertaining to watch, because there's something to lose. That's the thing. It's gritty. I like that violence, and just like you said, I understand that it's a superhero movie or show, but that little added realism does help.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's why the Chris Nolan Batman's worked so well.
Right. Yeah, because he got fucked up a lot. That Batman, that iteration of Batman would always
Yeah.
He had a lot of near-death experiences, and you're like, ooh, is this it for him?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I like that when you see your heroes getting bandaged up and having bruises and going back out again, and they're kind of flawed and human.
Yeah.
I like that.
And even when Tony Stark gets like stabbed at the end, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He just puts some ice on it, literally.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm fine.
What? I thought he was
It like
gonna die.
heals, doesn't someone heals him?
Yeah. He has like an ice thing in his glove or whatever, so he shoots it in a cart,
Yeah.
But
I feel like
there's so many moments where I think they're gonna die and they're just like totally fine.
Yeah, I feel like Vision was kind of cool.
Vision, Vision was great.
Cool.
That was sad. But everyone who read like the comic knew that was gonna happen. It's like a very, very famous scene when Thanos rips the stone out of his forehead. So that's hardcore.
It is hardcore. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like another part that was kind of lazy was the new technology that Tony Stark had that gave Spider-Man that suit.
Oh, the nanotechnology.
And like literally, I feel like okay, so you don't even have to get dressed anymore. Like it's like liquid over you. Like I'm like, come on, dude. Like I understand it's a comic book, but I don't know. It seemed a little too convenient.
Yeah. Though I understand how they need more express ways for them to get suited up, I guess, because it's cool to see him like get in the suit for the first couple movies or whatever, but after that, it's like we've seen it before. But yeah, that kind of looked silly.
My question is, does Iron Man shit in his suit if he has to go? Does he have something set up? Where
I feel like he is specifically that character would definitely do that.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta take a crap.
Right. Jarvis, open my chute.
Exactly. That's his real secret weapon.
Poop on Thanos.
Hey Thanos, open wide.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Spider-Man standalone film yet.
It's all right.
But I heard only good things. But I do think the character is a little too like. He's slightly too gung ho, and he's always like trying to impress Mr. Stark.
All right, Mr. Stark.
Yeah. I guess kind of like
I'm a Boy Scout.
Yeah. That's his only character trait is that he wants to be like.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just a diehard Tobey Maguire fan.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
It is. Yeah.
Be the Tobey Maguire Peter Parker.
And it was kind of sad when Peter Parker was like fading away or whatever, and he was like, oh I'm sorry. He was apologizing and shit, but Yeah, like I can't get into his character because that's the only thing I see from him is that he's like, I'm ambitious. That's it. Like that's it. That's
I mean, he's doing a good job, but I don't know. I think I'm just kind of tired of it. I mean, superheroes as a whole, I'm kind of like, okay, let's try a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
But
and there's no point anymore to the whole superhero dynamic is like, you're a vigilante, you're taking things into your own hands, and that's what makes it like intense and gritty and special. But with like the Avengers, they're literally working with the law and like the general, and everyone knows their identity even. So like they're literally just. They're like national defense with cool suits. It's weird.
I always liked when Spidey like had that, those human traits when it was focusing just as much on Peter Parker. Like I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when it's like he'd have to be home in time for a certain thing, or like when in Spider-Man 2 when he lost his powers. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
It's like you really cared.
Yeah.
And I think that's lacking. Yeah. There's a certain human quality that's lacking from these new movies.
Yeah. And keeping your identity safe, like because of your family and your loved ones, that gives it an element of realism. Like in real life, if you're in a gang or something, someone wants to fuck you up. The first people are going to come after is your family, the people you love, and that's why it goes the same for superheroes. That's why everyone, Batman and Spider-Man, whoever, have to maintain like an anonymous identity because they don't want everyone around them to die, right? But in these Marvel movies, everyone knows who they are and they're like celebrities and it's cool and it makes it like even more safe than it should be. Yeah. And like the villains are always kind of dumb. Yeah. And like harm's not going to come to the.
And there are always these big alien rulers. Right, it's never like anybody local anymore. Yeah. Man, I want my villains local.
Yeah. Villains local.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. It's so played.
Yeah, it is.
And I love superheroes, but just these new movies, just the Marvel movies specifically. I mean, DC's fucking up too, but they're all like you said, they're all just a little too sparkly and a little too clean, and I'm just I don't know. Not really a huge fan of them.
Yeah. They're fun though. I don't have anything against them, but I can't get like super pumped. Like, I have a couple friends who are like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And it almost the more superheroes there are, the less engaged I am.
It's less special.
Yeah. When there's like 50 superheroes on screen, it's like, all right, like, I don't know, it's overwhelming.
I like the Daredevil TV show.
Yeah, that one was cool.
That's pretty, but yet again, I mean, that's more of an anti-hero.
Right.
And he's more gritty.
Yeah.
And same thing, he cares about keeping his identity.
Yeah.
Secret.
When there's just one guy and there's just sort of one world, like, one realm, like, Spider-Man has New York City, whatever. Yeah, it feels more real because one person could only barely tackle all of that by himself. But when we have, like, a couple guys who are saving the world in every movie, it becomes less. Like, they try to recreate that, like, this is a massive, global, horrifying, once-in-a-lifetime event in every movie. Like, every single Avengers movie has been that.
I feel like New York City gets destroyed in every fucking movie, man. Every movie.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
let's do something a little different.
But what can you do?
Just bitch about it on a podcast.
Yeah, they're cool, though. We'll see. But yeah, all the guys who dissolved in the end are definitely going to come back to life.
For sure. There were actually people gasping in the theater when I said,
really?
I'm like, you're so stupid. I'm like, they're coming, they're coming back. It's like they're not going to just fucking kill off all these characters. Spider-Man's coming back. Yeah, Black Panther's coming back. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Bet you $1 bazillion.
Oh, shit.
Spider-Man's coming back.
It's very ambitious, though. Like, if 10 years we were told, well, maybe more than that now, if 15 or 20 years we were told that all these superheroes were going to come together for one movie, like, no one would believe it.
I would have been excited.
Yeah, I'll be very excited.
Because I would be
what are you talking about?
I would be holding it to the standard of, like, the old X-Men and the original, movies like that.
Right.
Not these, Pez dispenser pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's probably incredible for kids, but it does seem like a little too much like simulation. There's so much shit going on in these movies, Yeah. And you look at again, a scene in the original Spider-Man where he's just like talking to Mary Jane or whatever, and the whole scene is just them talking, and that's it, and that's cool.
Yeah. I feel like they try too hard to insert humor too. I feel like it's like that really easily accessible mainstream commercial humor, like something you would show on like a Super Bowl ad. I feel like it's like that kind of humor every 5 minutes. They're like throwing it in, and it's just like it's almost like they're saying, "Hey, audience, you're not that smart. Let's throw in a dumb joke because you don't have the attention span to keep up."
Yeah,
it's a little insulting.
Yeah, and even under like dark and dire circumstances, they're still making jokes, and that again, that kind of takes me out too. Like if you really think the world is going to blow up or half the population is going to be destroyed or in an instant, I think you would be like hyperventilating and freaking out, and you wouldn't be like the wise guy cracking jokes. But there was a lot of joke cracking.
Remember that scene in the first Spider-Man where Spider-Man has to choose between the kids falling into the river and catching Mary Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I remember seeing that scene and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
And it's like really a struggle to save both of them.
Yeah.
Like, what a great scene. It's like you don't have anything like that in the new ones.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like if half the population goes, you really don't care. You're kind of like,
exactly. Yeah.
Everyone turns to dust. Half the heroes die. Whatever. There will be another one in 6 months.
They're gonna be back. Yeah. They'll bring it back somehow.
Oh well.
Oh man.